What's up everyone, Alex here. Got a pretty exciting video today. Recently I did a video showing how you can get Ocarina of Time as an Android port for your Android devices, and I was looking forward to the day when we might be able to have Majora's Mask, and that day is now. There is a 1.0 of an app called Two Ship to Harkinian, and the original was called Ship of Harkinian, and this is how we played Ocarina of Time. So if you're familiar with the process before, it's the exact same thing, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to install this on my Retro Pocket 4, and then I'll show it off briefly on the Odin 2. This isn't as fleshed out as the Ocarina of Time port, which has so many features, and you can modify like 3DS graphics into the game to make it look even better. We're not quite there yet, but what we do have is a really solid Majora's Mask Android port. So I'm just going to go into my file manager here, where I've already downloaded the APK for Two Ship. I'll leave a link in the description where you can grab that. So in here, I chuck things in my download folder in APK. I'm going to open Two Ship, and I'm going to install it. And yes, I would. Once it's installed, I'm going to open it. I'm going to give it permission, and at this point I'm going to close the app, but I need to open it again. Now these instructions are already on the page, but I'm just doing as it says. So I'm going to go to apps, open Two Ship, open, and then it says no O2R file, do you want to generate one? At this point you want to say yes, and then it says no ROMs. So here you need to provide your own ROM of Majora's Mask. And if you already have one, basically it needs to be a .z64 file. You can just rename it MM. It needs to be called MM to be found. So I'm going to go yes. I already have one in my downloads folder, so I'm just going to go there, go to APK, and in here I have MMZ64. Extraction will now begin in the background. Please be patient for the process to finish. Do not close the main program. So I'm going to let it do its thing, and at this point in the video I'm going to speed it up just so we're not wasting time. And there we go. That was about 30 seconds maybe, and it's done. Now I have Majora's Mask on an Android device, and it's amazing. So I'm going to let that be on this device. It's already complete. So I'll now show it off on my Odin 2. I could have grabbed that a lot more fluid. Anyway, so this is Majora's Mask on my Odin 2 on the Android. So once the game is running, you can press select, and there's all these options up here. You might need to press square, or I find what happens is every time I start this app, I have to reset some of the controls for some reason. For some reason, every time it starts off, it thinks it's configuring two different controllers. So I'm just going to quickly show you how I set this up so that I play it the way I want to play it, with the right stick being the camera, because you can add a camera to this. So I'm going to press clear all and clear everything. So when I set my first button A, I'm going to put it here, and so on. I'm going to add another button. For some reason I have to keep pressing thumb instead of something else. I don't need an L button in this game, but I do need the R, which I'll put on trigger. So analog stick, it's a bit confusing here because the analog stick moves the window. Left, right. And analog stick options, we don't need to look at those. Additional right stick. Now for some reason up and down is inverted in this. I'm not really sure why. So I'm going to have to put down here, up here, then left, then right. So yeah, at this point in time I have to do this manually. I can do it quite quickly, but because of this video I'm at a weird angle, so I'm just trying to like do it as quickly as I can. And at that point I can just say, okay, let's start playing. I'll show you some of the options in a moment, so I'm going to get rid of that window. And here is Majora's Mask as an Android port. There's a lot of cool functions in this, and some of them like speed up some cutscenes, text, some other things like that, which make it really, they're like quality of life updates. And I can boot into the game really quickly, 60 frames per second. So if I press select and then press B, I can then start using the controller to go through some of these options. Enhancements, there are a lot of them. free look is the one that allows us to use the right stick to look around, which is amazing. I mean, it already has that on the 3DS version, but this is the N64 version using the free look camera, which is awesome. And this is annoying. It's like, let me try again. So if I click away from this, off on this, and then at this point it doesn't seem to let me use the D-pad anymore. So yeah, there needs to be some fixes and updates here. Cutscenes, I set it immediately so that you skip the intro cutscene. Now for someone like me who tests this kind of game on different handhelds, on the Android point, not really worth testing because it's an Android port, but the fact that you can skip that whole long intro just to like get to the main game is really great. And there's also some other things you can skip here. Saving time, dialogue, fast text is one that is just like beautiful because some of the text is really slow, so you just can like fast skip through it all. D-pad equips is what I mentioned earlier, so you can put items on the D-pad as well as your masks and things. Fixes, this one was on by default. Some kind of crash is like already fixed. You can change the way the clock works. You can make the masks transform really quickly. Player's Cafe for some reason, I'm not sure how you say his name. You can change the climbing speed if you find that too slow. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff ready to go in this, which is just awesome. You can even set it, I don't believe I showed this yet, graphics. So I've set it at a 2x resolution, so it looks even better. If you change the MSAA above 1, it's likely that the game will go black and then you'll have to reinstall the entire app again, so leave that at 1. FPS, I put it at 60, but match refresh rate will match the screen of whatever device you're using, and that's pretty much it. Now I have to figure out why I'm not Link anymore, because I used this save thing. Okay, I finally got Link back. That took a little while, so I just quickly wanted to run around the place. Now that I'm Link, I can run outside. I'm a boy, but I have a sword, so that's fine, I can leave. I always have this, my main nostalgia for the world of Termina in the last couple of years is testing it on like different devices and hoping that it runs smooth. Because usually, like on the 3DS Citra emulators, there'll be some caching. But here, it's just there in all its glory, running around at 60 frames. I need to note again that it's not a true 60 frames. It's more like an interpolated 60 frames, but it's damn smooth. Now, for some reason, when I hold the B button, it comes up with this box that says main game, and I don't know why. So I guess the way to avoid that for now is to maybe put B on here or a different button, whatever you wish. At this current point in time, this particular button comes up with a box that says main game. So I don't know if they're aware of that or not, but only if you hold it. I first noticed it when I was trying to use the Deku Scrub mask and was like aiming and blowing bubbles at things, and yeah, it kept coming up with that box. But yeah, look at that, incredibly smooth. So this is a terrific Android port of this. I think some people have been curious as like, what's the way to play Majora's Mask going forward, as there's this whole thing about N64 recompiling at the moment, where they're like taking the code and recompiling like a true PC port of N64 games. This is different. I'm not exactly sure how different because I haven't looked too much into it. But if you're at least familiar with Ocarina of Time with Ship of Harkinian, then this is basically, they've done the same thing with this, and now it has an Android port. Some people were wondering if the Android port was rushed out because of the popularity of the recompiles, but in my opinion, just having it like this is 60 frames is good enough for me. But yeah, you have the widescreen. I didn't show an option for this, but like you can adjust the HUD to be widescreen. When you start the game, the HUD will be like in a 4:3 ratio, the way it was like on the ROM, but then you set the option and you can move the HUD, you can move everything wherever you want if you prefer, which is kind of cool. At least I think so. I don't know if that's PC only, but on this at least you can make it widescreen. And yeah, it looks really damn good. It's pretty much all I have to say about that, but there you go. If you are interested in playing this on an Android device, fantastic on the Odin. If you're looking forward to playing Majora's Mask again, this is a really good way to play it. So, Let me get away from these bomb rats for me to do my outro. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked that video, please give it a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.